and don't feel like hitting up any of your rich friends. Oh, I have a bad habit of picking at nail polish too, but mine's more like once it starts chipping, I have to finish chipping it. I'm pretty good about, it's taken years, but I've gotten pretty good about not messing with it until after it starts chipping, and I gotta work on the whole, don't mess with it after it starts chipping either. You wonder if Boulder uses it for anything besides passing notes. My sources tell me you've been on Alternia for almost 3 peregrines now. How long is that? Oh, I was trying to read the thing about sweeps, and it just was not processing. So I'm so glad that you like said that. So what the fuck? Hold on, we've been here for 3 months. No wonder we've made so many friends. You have no idea how long a peregrine is, but what the hell, sure. Impressive. No wonder. She trails off thoughtfully and shakes her head. You wish she would say something with some substance to it instead of just vague nonsense. But at least she isn't threatening you with violence or trying to stick wires into you. So you're counting this interaction successful so far? I don't know. Malik wanted to stick a wire in us, and we still counted that shit as successful, considering how it ended. Also, you feel weirdly chilled out with Boulder. Sure, you want to be friends, but there's none of that stomach-churning, spine-bending desperation to make sure she likes you, whatever the cost. You feel more awake than you have in weeks. Man, you've got to learn to pickpocket in a garden behind a cafe more often if this is what it does to your stress levels. Want to get something to eat? Or maybe just coffee, because that's what they serve here? Sure. You could use another caffeinated beverage on top of the other caffeinated beverage you had earlier. Why not? You'll sleep when you're dead. If only. Oh, jeez, girl. You follow her out of the garden and back to the cafe. Who is this now? Yes, his poor heart. Ardata! Yet another friend? Oh, Ardata, you're still here? Of course I am, fool. You were back there for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Wow. Felt like way longer than that. Guess you underestimated the power of a good training montage. I was starting to wonder when she was gonna pop back up. Oh. Gotta get the power options on the laptop. Okay. You introduced Ardata to Boldir with the cheerful earnestness of somebody who would forgotten the systemic classism of the planet on which they currently reside. Ardata stops you with an aristocratic sneer. Stop, stop. Before I have to stop you myself. I have absolutely no desire to mix with those so low on the social ladder. What in the world could she have to offer me? You shrug. You're not sure. Maybe friendship? You know, friendships between people of different castes are possible. You've seen them happen. Regardless, you feel bad for exposing your newest friend to the vaguely nonsensical abuses of your oldest. She is, in fact, our oldest friend. You turn back to Boldier to apologize and find her gazing coolly at Ardata like she could do it all night. There's none of the fear, reverence, or false obedience you've seen you've seen other low bloods display to blues. Instead, Boldier looks at Ardata like she's a bug. Worse, a pebble that she would just love to kick out of the way. Nice to meet you in person, Miss Carmia. I hear your GrubTube channel has been losing subscribers recently. I wonder why that is. Yes, her done face is so fucking good. And blue hits Ardata's cheeks in an angry flush. I'm currently on hiatus. The old garbage was getting tired. I have so many imitators that my own content is starting to seem derivative. She gives one of her maniacal laughs, but it's a little less robust than usual. Man, the wild tundra of the internet fame really is a stark and arid battleground. In fact, I have a new feature in the works as we speak. She holds up a little vial she'd been haggling with the cash register over earlier. Poison. I think the best and most expedient process would just be to dose my featured guest's food and then hide the antidote somewhere in my hive. Unless you have another idea. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, as far as like Alternian YouTube type fucked up prank things, that's pretty sound. I don't think she should do it, but I mean, it'll definitely get views. She smiles, sly and mean. Boldier smiles back, just as vicious. Great. Have fun with that. While Boldier talks, her eyes start flickering from you to Ardata and then down again. And then down. Again and again. You, Ardata, and down. Takes a couple of go-rounds before you realize what she is telling you. She keeps looking down to your hands, which are stuck in your hoodie pocket. Exactly where you found the note Boldier slipped you. She does. Ardata is carrying a bag that looks expensive and extremely goth, and you can see where the vial of poison is sticking out. Of course she's carrying something that looks extremely goth. Have you seen her? Oh man, you know what you have to do. When a group comes into the shop and pushes past the three of you, you move in on Ardata and slip a hand into her bag, palming the smooth, cold vial. She gives you a weird look, like, why are you suddenly all up on me, peon? But she doesn't notice the theft. I suppose I'll be going now. If I were you, I'd be more mindful who I choose to associate with myself with in the future. You say bye to her, feeling the tiniest bit guilty, but she's planning to use this poison to do murder theater in her prison basement, so you don't feel that bad. Yeah. Take care now. Ardata leaves and Boldier makes an inquisitive step closer. Show me. You open your hand to display the spoils, flushed with criminal euphoria. Oh. Oh hell no. You grab the wrong fucking vial. This one is blue, not red. You grab the antidote, not the poison. God, you honestly thought you were moving past these kinds of cock-ups. Oh. Damn. Well, At least you have the antidote now. You never know when one of those might come in handy. Yeah, good luck to them. Ardata gonna have a ball. She sways forward and clutches her neck. For one confused second, you think she's doing an impression of someone who might need an antidote. Then she falls to her knees. You dart forward and catch her before she can totally eat it. She's heavier than she looks, compact muscle and coat full of an ungodly number of weapons. She has like 4 guns in here. What the hell? Your arms are full, so you can only watch helpless as a troll in a hood that covers their face and their horns books it out the door. You shout that some fucker just stabbed your friend, but nobody here is looking at you. It's the same way people on Earth might ignore a mother trying to calm a toddler throwing a tantrum, just turning their eyes away from a distasteful public scene. Girl is prepared, absolutely. Ow. Damn it. You put a hand up to Boulder's neck to try to staunch the bleeding, but there isn't any bleeding. Bewildered, you pull apart the lapels of her coat and see a single drop of olive blood trembling above her collarbone. Discoloration spreads in a dark spill over her neck and radiating down her chest. You both say it at the same time. Poison. You open your hand and look at the tiny blue vial, then back up to Boulder. Her eyes are glassy, her skin going blotchy and ashen. There's no reason to believe that Ardata's poison and the poison the assassin used are the same. With the same antidote, it already strains the powers of coincidence that you grab the antidote at all. You're probably right, but maybe you should try it anyway. I can't feel my legs. Right. Maybe the mere fact that this is such an unlikely happenstance means it will be the right antidote. Everything you've done so far has had the pull of inevitability to it, especially all of your interactions with Boldir. Great. Awesome. Glad you're realizing your inherent significance to this particular microcosm of causation. Now, can you please pour that stuff in my mouth so I can swallow it and possibly not die? Stop talking and give her the antidote. Yeah! Well, you help Boldir tip her head back and put the vial to her lips. At the last minute, you wonder if it's supposed to be diluted, but Boldir gulps the whole thing down and immediately begins to shake. Yeah, Boldir's just like, this bitch is still talking. I'm gonna have to give him step-by-step how to do this without me dying. Smoke billows out of her nostrils and open mouth, and holy shit, what is going on? This doesn't seem like any type of antidote to you. But then the smoke clears and Boldir opens up her big yellow eyes. How does she feel? Alive. Marginally. Yeah, everything's fine. She lets you help her to her feet. You immediately pull her into a fierce yet gentle hug. It's wild to undergo someone else's near-death experience. You feel like you know her way better than one montage scene's worth. Another new friend. Oof. Not so tight. You ease up a little. All the tea sippers are staring at you now. Death apparently isn't interesting. Death apparently isn't interesting, but the possibility of some quadrant adjacent stuff, that they suddenly care about. Sorry, assholes. Just you and your new friend sharing a touching post-near fatal encounter. Nothing to see here. Oh. You know, I can see that. I could very much see that. Look at her. Hold on, I got to adjust something real quick. Yeah, didn't die is beautiful. Or, Alright. Alright. No more crime, please. You've already got a hell of a rap sheet. Maybe it would be best not to add any new skills that could lead you into temptation. Fair enough. Would you care for a stroll? It's a nice night. It's a windy, unsettled night, and it looks like rain. You you suppose it's nice, depending on your definition. You'd absolutely love to take a stroll. That's your whole vibe recently. Strolling. You follow her out. You follow her out through a little back gate and into the street. You leave the cafe behind and are quickly consumed by the drift of the midnight crowd. You brace for the inevitable pitying, hostile looks you get whenever you go out in public. You should have mentioned that you try to avoid large groups. Yeah, it was pouring rain while I was waiting for the tow truck today. would have been a very nice like evening, just sit there if and wait if it did not transfer from nice gentle rain to pouring. But strangely, no one even glances at you. It's like Boulder exudes a sneaky aura that encompasses the both of you. Is that like a trait of that blood color? As you walk, you ask her if she really believes in fate, like the two of you were always going to meet and nothing could have happened any differently no matter what you did. Boulder gives you a thoughtful sidelong glance. Well, that would imply that none of our choices matter and that causality is inevitable. That randomness is irrelevant, right? Sure? You scamper to keep up with her, both physically and mentally. For someone who asks you to take a stroll, she sure is booking it down the street. Oh. But that disregards our choices. Fate dictates that all possibilities are, by their very virtue, necessity. Or rather, the choice you made was the only one you ever could make. I doubt the universe is that simple. It doesn't sound simple to you, but you hum and nod sagely because you want Boldier to think you're deep. Instead of asking yourself whether you're meant to meet me and meant to be here, it makes more sense to wonder what the forces are that have changed to bring it into being. Oh, that have conspired to change it into being. To bring it. Wow, words. That have conspired to bring it into being. There we go. Fast walk Boulder, let's go. If Sushi hadn't just eaten and fallen asleep somewhere, she'd probably be trying to get all up in between me and my laptop. Well, that would be exhaustion and ineptitude. You don't exactly remember what happened, but you're sure it involves something stupid like falling asleep at the wheel and drifting off into another solar system. That's how we ended up here. We fell asleep. It had been a rough 48 hours, you know? A lot of escaping and running and punching and stealing of high-powered vehicles. Bro, what were we on Earth? We were not just an average dude. Yes, of course. understand. All in a day's work. She stops you at the most intersection. Oh, she stops you at most intersections so she can take surreptitious glances around the corner before gesturing you forward. Every so often, she will turn the two of you around and double back. You aren't exactly sure why. Maybe she thinks you're being followed, but who would follow you from a cafe? Yeah, like... Oh no, I'm trying to get comfy. Yeah. Alright. All sorts. But don't worry. I know how to shake off a tail. You cross one of the main thoroughfares and a big black bird swoops at your heads. You yelp and duck, but when you look around to see what the bird... You yelp and duck, but when you look around you... Let's try that for a third fucking time. Got a knack for thievery, but didn't know how to pickpocket. But that is a very interesting combo for whatever we were doing on Earth before we stole a fucking rocket ship. Alright. You yelp and duck, but when you look around, you see that the bird has landed on Boldier's arm and she's stroking his back. You brace yourself for it to start talking or some shit like that, because that's what your life is like now. But it just sticks its leg out for Boldier to remove a scrap of paper. Yeah, maybe they made some friends along the way. It waits patiently for her to read the message and then scribble something on the back before attaching it to the crow and throwing it back into the air. Man, that's some Harry Potter ass shit. I feel like that's like any fantasy spy type shit. One of my informants wants to rendezvous in meat space. What is meat space? Is that place that we went with with hot dog boy? I cannot think of his name right now. Unusual, but it has been an unusual day. Unusual couple of months, honestly. Oh. Yes, of course. You've had it much harder than I have. What was I thinking? Well, you weren't trying to get into a contest of whose life sucks more, but yeah, it's been rough. You appreciate that she can see that. Oh, okay. I just assumed it was like the meat blocker. Of all the planets to be forced to, Alternia is, well, not ideal. Not the worst. But you still have my sympathies. Is there anything at all you like about it? What, about Alternia? Well, you're kind of digging this whole night as day thing. You're from a diurnal species, but you've always been a bit of a night owl. Also, not to brag, but you've made some seriously cool friends. Yes, I've been following your exploits. Your friendship acquisition procedures are really quite impressive. Aw, now you're blushing. You asked Boldier how she knows that much about your exploits because it's only pretty recently that you've had any sort of real social media presence. You suppose she could have a Gorgle alert like Malik did, but quick, around here. Yeah, MC does have so many stalkers. Boulder leads you into a deserted lot between two buildings. There's nothing here except some broken bottles and a pile of old rubber tires. She leaves you behind the tire pile to keep watch, although she was probably just doing it to get you out of the way. Which, is fair. Then she heads out into the center of the lot, presumably to wait for her contact. You sit here twiddling your thumbs, trying to suppress the desire to pull out your phone. That doesn't seem very covert ops. You're just starting to get really antsy, jittering your leg and cracking your knuckles and digging a little hole in the dirt with a stick. Oh, that does not tell me how long we've been sitting there, because I get like that after like 3 minutes. When you hear something strange beneath the wind, a swish followed by a thunk. Boulder jerks and clutches her neck. You writhe up from the rubber pile, sending tires flying. You look wildly up at the surrounding buildings, trying to find out where the projectile came from. You don't see one, not even a lone gunman. You run for your new friend, not spending a thought for your own safety. The clouds move overhead like someone has put them on fast forward, the wind rattling in the trash on the pavement. By the time you reach Boulder, she has begun to twitch in hard spasms. One look at the blotchy stain spreading across her neck, and there's no doubt. You both say it at the same time. Oh, good. On both routes, we say it at the same time. Poison. You fall to your knees beside her. Oh, God, what are you supposed to do? You don't know anything about poison or first aid or anything else useful. God, why are you such a fucking waste of space? You could have been gaining some life skills instead of just loafing around like a complete idiot. You... Stop. Don't. There isn't time. The stuff acts fast. Boulder takes a hard, gasping breath between each word. Her eyes going cloudy. She makes a desperate grab for your hands. Listen. For the first time, her voice rises above a whisper. Her grip is surprisingly strong. You tell her to save her strength, but she shakes her head so hard her hat falls off. Yeah, MC's mental state is collapsing with every bad end. I'm not important. You tell her to stop being dramatic. Of course she's important. I'm not being dramatic. Well, maybe a little because I'm dying. But still, remember what I said about fate? Fuck fate. You don't want anything to do with it if this is the kind of shit it's going to pull on you. So many of your friends have died because of you. Because of your incredible inability to... The world twists and shudders. Your guts are a record. And that record is skipping. For a moment, you're sure that whoever that poison-shooting bastard is shot you too. But then your vision clears and you feel the rain on the back of your neck. The world rolling back to you in waves of color and sound. Aww. The dark sky splits open on a fault line of lightning. Boulder's hand goes limp in your own. With shaking fingers, you reach out to touch her motionless cheek. Fuck. Not again. Why? An uncontrollable wave of despair washes over you as you look down at the corpse of this girl you barely know. Where are all these feelings coming from? There's honestly too many of them. Why are they... MC just straight up having, like, a whole existential crisis plus some. Yeah, they're cute. Well, again, must I do everything myself? What was that? I don't think we've ever had a scene after the ending panel, have we? Oh no. I don't like that smile. That smile means evil. I got distracted fuck words scrolling through. Oh shit, it was. Salsa? Let's go. Okay, so it turns out stealing a car was easily one of your better impulse decisions. You've gotten accustomed to enough to its weird insides by now that the squishiness doesn't much phase you anymore. It still feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature, but you actually find it kind of comforting. You can just let yourself get enveloped by the seat while the autopilot does its thing. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia with your feet up on the dash sure beats endlessly pounding the pavement. Sometimes you even throw Sarava's stream on your phone if you really want to get a chill vibe going. You're surprised that you haven't been caught yet, dastardly carjacker that you are, but maybe you're just a better thief than you've always thought. Possible career change to look into when, if, you ever get back to Earth. The downside is that it's a little difficult for you to further your goal of gathering even more friendship from the inside of a vehicle. So you'd park the scuttle buggy and expose yourself to the menace of the outside world once more. Is that an acronym? Imagine, if you will, a situation wherein I wrote the bulk of this song at 4 a.m. and then woke up only to discover the monstrosity I had created in my fleeting hubris. I like it. You're in what looks like some sort of residential neighborhood. It isn't as nice as the blue blood neighborhoods you've seen, but still nice enough for most of the apartment complexes to have imposing locked front gates and security drones. But of course you can't take a leisurely stroll on Eternia without something terrible happening. You aren't out here for very long before it starts raining. Shit, damn it, fuck. Don't know why I said fuck like that. You ditched the umbrella Tirona had given you since it was heading as a goddamn club, and now you're super regretting it. Running for shelter is all you can do, so you make a mad dash for one of the building awnings, huddling uncomfortably beneath it. The rain doesn't let up. You'll have to move soon. Security drones are getting to look like they're planning on taking a few shots at you for loitering. You need to make a decision fast. Oh, fuck. I feel like trying to get into one of the buildings is a terrible idea, but so is running back to the scuttle buggy, so I'm going to start with running back to the scuttle buggy. It's parked a ways away down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You abandon the security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Alternia weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand nuclear-ass rain. You probably would have had better luck with the security drones. Well, that didn't work. Well, we're going to try to get into one of the buildings. There's no way you're getting into any of these without a passcode, but wait. You think you see someone coming your way. Perhaps they'll be your knight in shining armor. Yeah, where does MC fit all those bones? Because, like, I know we thick, but, like, artistically, we are not. Descriptively, we are. Artistically, we are not. So what you're telling me is that my appointment is canceled? You're still some distance away, but she's looking right at you. You point at yourself questioningly, thinking she might be talking to you, but then you realize she's wearing a Bluetooth headset. Jerome used to be so on the ball. Remember the time he gave me a full prong beautifying procedure right after that high blood ripped his arm off? God damn. Ow. Fuck. Yes. In their legs and head, they're thick in both. But now he can't bounce back from one little thresher in the abdominal sausages. What happened? That boy is losing his touch. Looks like she's coming back from a jog, if they're running shorts or anything to go by. If she's at all bothered by the acid glancing off her skin, sending dozens of little firecracker sparks in their wake, she isn't showing it. She seems much more preoccupied by the harried conversation she's having on the phone. Most importantly, she's power walking to the entrance of this building, which must mean she lives here? This is your chance. You shuffle along under the awning, pressing yourself close to the side of the building, bug-like. We're just like, squished against the side of the building, huh? You sort of wish she'd encountered you earlier when you were dodging rain like a rad action hero. Now you just look sort of cowardly and pathetic. Especially compared to her. She's striding along like absolutely nothing is going to get in the way of whatever business she's got going on. Let alone a few paltry explosions. Actually, she's so focused on her call that she doesn't notice you until you're standing right next to her. Such an inconvenience. You can fully expect that I will be taking my business elsewhere from now on. Oh my, what do we have here? She transitions from hanging up the call to talking to you so quickly it makes your head spin. Take this down. Strange little hornless creature parked in front of my home. Very puny and scared looking. Can only be the alien everyone has been talking about. Such an opportunity can't go to waste now, can it? I'm going to assume she's a reporter. She gives me reporter energy. I love her. I very much like her, yeah. You're confused again. Looking around to see whom she might be talking to, but there's nobody else here. Maybe she's dictating notes to her phone? Look at you. Can't have you wander around outside like this, darling, can we? Aren't you ravishing? Do give me the name of your stylist. So good to meet you. Here's my card. Ooh, Durst and Blood. Interesting. The name Stella says yet? Words. Auto-terrorizer. In training. For the Alternian Empire. Nice to meet you. Let's walk and talk. You didn't realize that Barred Hoodie was that impressive of a look? But okay. She produces a business card with one hand and inputs some numbers into a panel with the other. You take the card. It's a struggle to process what she's saying, responding to her questions, and introduce yourself, all while experiencing the verbal equivalent of getting hit by a truck. Oh, I love it. How is it possible to talk so fast without taking a breath? You can barely get a word in edgewise. Stelsa continues chattering away as she steps inside and waits for you to follow her into the apartment building's elevator. You do. Bullet points. No time to talk, darling. She's incredibly busy. Make an appointment. Make an appointment. She'll pencil you in. Flies for her files and sensible heels. Ooh, sensible heels. Nice. So tell me, do you run any businesses on your planet? If you do, I will be more than happy to offer my services. They are very efficient and affordable, I can assure you. All your legal and financial documents will be checked over in no time. I'll make sure everything is running in tip-top shape. I'm so happy to run into you. Ever since Zizi told me she met you, I've been asking her to introduce me. It's so very important and for a professional to continue growing her network, especially intergalactically. Don't you agree? She's still busying herself with her phone while talking to you, texting on its tiny keyboard. Texting us now. The name Zizi doesn't ring any bells. You flip through the Rolodex in your brain trying to remember. You really made so many friends that you're beginning to forget their names? You're a little impressed with yourself. Feels like only yesterday that you were crawling around in the basement of a murderess and getting stabbed in the shin with a screwdriver. Just a single friend to your name. Good times. You've come so far since then. Brings a single sentimental tear to your eye. Wait. Celsa's own name finally starts to register. You've heard it before. This is Tysius' mate, Brit. So she must be talking about Tysius. I love her. Murderous is stabbing, very fascinating stuff, I'm sure. Yes, I'm referring to my darling Tysius, of course. You're at the door to her hive. She unlocks it, letting you both in. Ah. Oh, good God! Post-it notes, woman. There's a point where you stop writing on post-it notes and just build a book. Girlfriends, yeah. I love it. Come in. Welcome to Shay's. Yeah. Make yourself at home. Can I get you anything? Water, grub cake, my rate sheet. I would love to continue our chat while I am a little less sweaty. Also, acid wreaks absolute havoc on the skin. You know how it is. Yeah, they're like two opposite ends of the spectrum there, and I love it. I'll just jump in the ablution trap for a minute. Please excuse me, I won't be long. Be back in 2 shakes of a quite beast gastric evacuation pillow. That was a string of words. Actually, you wouldn't know how it is, considering that a bucket load of acid falling on you would leave you either very injured or very dead, and she's already gone. You're a little relieved. It's not that Celsa isn't friendly. She's plenty friendly. She just approaches friendship in a way that makes you feel a little like a line on her to-do list that she's in a hurry to check off. Or, well, she seems like she wanted you as some sort of work contact, not a friend. But that's okay. You've worn many hats in the pursuit of friendship. Clown cultist, impromptu shooshpapper, murder accomplice, business associate is one of the tamer ones on the list. Now that you no longer have to keep up with her mile-a-minute conversation, you can take a proper look around her hive. There's so many fucking file cabinets. There's so many windows. Sorry, I'm looking at the posters. The posters say Sunrise and Tenacity. Give up already. White Bloods. Jeez. You're not sure what's more perturbing, the sheer amount of pink that's accosting your eyeballs, or the fact that everything is so painstakingly organized that it's making you a little uncomfortable. It's like you're merely standing here is disrupting the careful order of the room. So, is she the Elle Woods, if Elle Woods was a reporter? Wait, they do? Her shelves are crammed full of books, all neatly arranged according to topic, with each topic displaying a little label on each shelf. She also has a lot of posters featuring motivational slogans underneath striking nature photography. The only normal looking spot in the hive is the coffee table with a mishmash of personal belongings piled on top of it. Books, papers, a jacket. You think that might be a mug. None of his items strike you as being particularly Celsa's style. The overall effect is that of a very pink, very neat office cubicle. You almost feel like you should start chugging mediocre coffee and complaining about how much you hate Mondays. Thirsty. Oh, I just noticed that there's a Mario fire flower on there. I have to say, the way they describe the room versus the way the room is drawn are two very different things. Oh, hold on, I need to stretch. Alright. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Oh. Stella reemerges, her hair wrapped in a towel. Well, it's been a blast getting to know you. We should get some lunch. Sometime keep the conversation going. I'll pencil you in, darling. But for now, I have a bit of a dilemma to deal with. That sounds worryingly like a dismissal. You sneak a glance at the schedule on our bulletin board. It's a blaze of color with barely any free slots. You don't want to be penciled in. Dude, where does Taisia get time to spend with her? You have no idea when she might be available next, and you need her sweet, sweet friendship now. Maybe whatever problem she has is something you could help her with? Unless you're a ludicrously talented beautician, I think not. My usual place bumped me off their list, and right before a very important meeting, too. A girl has to look her best for these things and really knock their socks off. If I want to make arrangements at another salon, I have to get to move fast, no time to waste. I have to move fast. I shall have to move fast, no time to waste. Why do I feel like either direction is... I feel like both of these are flirts. One's just a lot less obvious than the other. Because both of them imply that she doesn't need to go to the beautician. I mean, I would hope Taisius would always be able to be penciled in. But, like, how often is there a free slot to just, like, toss her in there? Wait, what? I'm gonna start with the who needs a beautician when you're around, because damn, she's pretty. You have absolutely no professional beauty experience, but Sarava did give you that crash course in crafting great looks. Stelsa is probably after a vibe that's a little less moisture wave, but you're sure you can whip something up. You tell her you'll help her get ready instead, right here in her hive. Woo! How nice of you. I've never had a house call before. Let's do this. Oh, what? Okay. She leads you to the next room, rubbing her hair dry as she goes. There's a Recuperacoon in one corner and a vanity in the other, with an array of poofs and brushes and other mysterious implements spread out on its surface. Some of them are disturbingly pointy. Why does Alternia feel like the kind of place that, like, best way to do eyeliner would be with your own blood? Oh well, you're sure you'll be able to figure out what they're all for once you start using them. It does. It looks like a dressing room just with a bed tossed in the corner. Celsa takes a seat in the chair in front of the vanity, folding her hands primly in her lap. So, darling, what do you think we should do first? I don't think I read that right. So, darling, what do you think I'm not going to try again. I'm going to go with whatever I said the first time. It's all up to you. Tysius is going to murder us if we fuck up. Not this again. Why are you always making all the decisions around here? What you wouldn't give to be able to to foist your own life choices off on random people you just met. It would be refreshing. We're going to polish horns, I guess? You pick up a velvety piece of cloth, bringing it up to Stelsa's head. There's only one thing this can be for, right? What are you going to do with that? Polish her horns to an impressive sheen, of course. They'll be positively gleaming by the time you're done with them. She grabs your wrists in one hand before you can do so. She's deceptively strong, holding you in such an ironclad grip that you can't move your arm at all. You've been low-key admiring her toned arms earlier, but now you know for sure that the rack of hot pink dumbbells in the living room aren't just for show. Strong lady. Instead of looking pleased with what you propose to do, she looks uneasy, possibly even a little embarrassed. Polish mate. You barely get a glimpse of her discomfited expression before she's gracing you with another friendly smile, albeit a bit of a strained one. What does that word mean? Yeah, it works out. I am all for that. Oh, make someone feel uneasy or embarrassed. I think I'm having second thoughts. It's reasonable to expect that an alien like you wouldn't know the first thing about troll grooming habits. My mistake. I should have accounted for such cultural differences. But it's quite alright. I shall figure something else out. Is it just you, or was there a pointed pause before cultural differences? She's getting up again. Wait, what's happening? You thought the two of you were going to bond over a sweet makeover session, but she's pushing you back into the main area of her hive. Pretty forcefully, too. Thank you for offering your help, dear. So very kind, but I'll manage. Great to meet you. Just wonderful. Call me. Take care. Have a nice life. Toodles. Goodbye. She shoots you yet another lovely, yet very clearly fake smile and shoves you out the door. You'll be able to wait out the rain just fine in this hallway. But being sprawled on your ass on Celsa's welcome mat all by your lonesome just isn't the same as hanging with a new friend. Oof. Got it, don't touch the horns. But, like, why? I am curious. Is it just her, or is it all of them? Style hair? First order of business should be drying Celsa's hair. You pick up a funnel-shaped doohickey that looks like it might be a hairdryer, fumbling around for a button. There isn't one, but you manage to turn it on by giving it a good squeeze. The mouth of the funnel opens wide, emitting a hot blast of air along with a hoarse animal yell. You think you might actually see teeth inside. Just don't think about it too much. That's the best you can do when it comes to literally any Alternian gadget. Thankfully, the noise soon fades to a low hum. And the description of it turning on made me almost be able to smell the smell of a like hairdryer that's been turned on. You know how they have that smell? Here, use this. Stelsa passes you a piece of thorny bramble. It looks painful, but you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, But when you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, she sighs happily. I'm pretty sure it ain't this her. Ah. Oh, that's this one. Interesting. Yeah, that kind of warm, like vaguely metallic, but not quite metallic smell. It smells like it would. It smells like the taste of warm pennies. Sorry, that's probably a strange description. Interesting being in this position for once. When Tysius is over, usually I am the one doing this. You try to imagine Tysius letting someone give her a sweet do. Even when it's her girlfriend in question, you have a hard time picturing it. I love the idea of this. Stelsa laughs. She has a surprisingly pretty musical laugh. No. My dear Zizi isn't one for involved beauty rituals. She usually doesn't let me do more than just brush it, but it's still relaxing. It does have some wild hair. Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. You allow yourself to zen out for a moment before shaking yourself out of it. Casting around for something to talk about, that's what good hairdressers do, right? Strike up casual conversation. Your eyes fall on an open book sitting on the table. It's the only object there that doesn't have anything to do with hair or beauty, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Just like the items on the coffee table, it's drawn too haphazardly to look like it belongs to Stelsa. You think you see fuck words. You think you see some of the tabs Tysius was using on the notes for her group project. And if you look even closer, you think you catch the words revolt and history in the page header. Right, as Tysius' mate Sprit, Stelsa probably has big plans for dismantling the system from the inside too after she becomes an auditor. Yeah, that is exactly what Tysius thinks, like, what I could imagine Tysius' hair routine being. You remark that you think it's really cool that what she and Tysius are doing might be scary to think to stick it to the man like that, but someone has to do it. Yeah. Okay, it's not exactly light conversation, but talking to Tysius about this have been enlightening, if sad, and you really bonded over it. Maybe you'll be able to bond with Stelsa the same way. But Stelsa only looks confused. Oh no. Does Stelsa not know what Tysius is up to? Then her eyes flick down to the book just for a second before she reaches out, smartly snaps it shut, and squirrels it away in one of the drawers. Some of the drawer slamming makes you jump, and you narrowly avoid pulling Stelsa's hair. There we go. I am quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. I am not sticking anything anywhere. Never mind, she clearly knows what Tysius is up to. Trying to get comfy. Definitely not to any man. And neither is Tysius. She's sitting straight and tense in the chair now, her voice soaring to a high, bordering on hysterical pitch. Oh no, she probably doesn't know you're on their side. Tysius might not have told her about your conversation. It's okay. You're not going to tell anyone. You're sworn to secrecy, but Stelsa averts her eyes, a stubborn set to her chin. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about, not a single clue. Tysius and myself are both law-abiding subjects of the Empire. We don't dabble in such foolish things as sympathizing with rebels. What would that possibly accomplish? She wrings her hands distractedly. We do things the way we do in Alternia for a reason, darling. Without the human spectrum and the roles we each need to play, the world would be plunged into complete chaos. Can you even imagine? Trolls running around not knowing which way is up, doing whatever they please, no one to tell them what their place in the world is. She goes from hand-wringing to gesticulating wildly, almost knocking a row of jars off the table, positively frantic at the prospect of societal breakdown. It's better for everyone this way. Truly believe that. You're beginning to realize that you might have put your foot in your mouth. Just a little bit. Stuffed a toe or two in that gob of yours, maybe. She sounds way too earnest for this to be a cover-up. Could it be possible Stelsa really does side with what had Tyzius called her? The Condus? And that she doesn't know about Tyzius' underground research after all, but the book was right there. You're so confused. Talking about this clearly distressing Stelsa, though, so you drop it, focusing on finishing up her hair instead. It's pretty soft now that it's dry. You're not sure you've styled it correctly, but she seems pleased. Great work, nice, fantastic, you did an excellent job. You glow at the praise. You say thanks, but she's already passing you a bottle of nail polish. She really wants you to go all the way, huh? You twist it open and get to work. You're too focused on not smudging the teal color over the stately points of her claws to talk, but Stelsa breaks the silence. I have a question for you. You nod, sticking your tongue out in concentration. So I have this acquaintance. This is the most tentative you heard her so far. You weren't sure her vocal cords were capable of it. They're in a quadrant with someone who harbors views most would consider subversive, if not outright treasonous. She's obviously talking about herself and Tyzius, but you don't want to point that out in case she gets upset again, so you just nod along thoughtfully. She didn't always. The mate spread, I mean. It will blow over at some point. She must just be going through a difficult phase. But in the meantime, she could get into oh so much trouble. Tyzius' lower lip wobbles like she's about to cry. You chew on the inside of your cheek, trying to figure out what to say. Talking to Tyzius very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. She sounded pretty serious. Does Stelsa's friend have any idea that this is going on? She looks at the drawer. So do you. Nope. You resist the urge to massage your temples. No idea at all? Absolutely not. Alright, okay, you can do this. A good first step might be for her friend to face up to the issue. You know, there's a chance that they have the tiniest inkling about what might be happening, so the two of them can talk about it. Talk about it? Yeah, you're no expert, but open discussion probably helps with relationship problems quite a bit. Plus, you ruminate to yourself. The more you think about it, the less it seems to Tyzius leaving her controversial book out like that was an accident. It was right in front of Stelsa's chair, after all. Maybe Tyzius wanted Stelsa to see it. You'd slicked the last bit of color onto Stelsa's pinky claw a while ago, but you're both too wrapped up in the conversation to suggest that you move on to something else. She lets the polish dry while the two of you continue to talk. But my friend does not agree with her mate's sentiments. Discussing it would just cause unnecessary friction, wouldn't it? Maybe, but even so, addressing the issue is probably better than pretending it isn't there. Besides, quadrant mates can coexist regardless of differing beliefs, right? Yeah, you don't sound convincing even to yourself, but the platitudes seem to comfort Stelsa somewhat. There was a stitch marker under my cooling disk for my computer. I have no idea where it came from because this is not one of the colors that I was using. Yeah, NC can give good advice sometimes. I wonder if this is something they developed along the way or if it was always there, just buried very deep. Yeah, you don't sound convincing even to yourself, but the platitudes seem to comfort Stelsa somewhat. Maybe you're right. Carefully, mindful of her just dried nails, she wipes away a few tears. Much to your horror, was that, was that the wrong thing to say? But then you notice that she's smiling. I have not spoken about that to anyone before now. Telling you about it was truly a load off my bellow sack cavity. I am certain my friend will be grateful as well as I. The whole no punctuation in between the sentences is fucking me up. I am certain my friend will be grateful as well. I shall relay your advice accordingly as soon as I can. You smile back at her weakly. You haven't been able to relate to very much when it comes to Alternian life, but boy, can you relate to relationship drama. And trolls sure seem to have plenty of it. Good point. Maybe they just needed to recover for a while and then they were back in tip-top advice-giving shape. You hope everything turns out alright for her friend. Since her voice is all sniffly and her eyelashes still wet, you retrieve a frilly box of hand tissues and hold it out to her, hoping that will help. She pulls out a few and blows her nose on them and that's a sad honking noise. I should finish getting ready. She seems reluctant to get up though. You'd probably be the same knowing you had to head into a serious business meeting right after spilling your heart like that. Experiencing emotions is tiring. Eventually though, Stelsa musters up enough energy to get to her feet. Much to your surprise, instead of immediately rushing off to complete her next pre-meeting task, she pulls you into a tight hug. Does she have dimples? I love her. Thank you. You're a real friend. And there it is. Not colleague, not potential client, but that wonderful friendship word. Ah. Oh, does that mean wait, did we end up in the fail quadrant? So, this one. Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? That is an excellent idea. I visited this potential client's establishment to a wipe ago, but it was a quick one. It was a quick one. I could do well to cast my gander bulbs around the place properly. It's pretty much in the bag, but this meeting is the clincher, and there's no way I can flub it. Having Remoulade Namak as a client would be too good of a cluck beast plume in my pan lid for me. For me to check the opportunity in the load gaper. Jeez. Words. Also, Remoulade. You totally know her. How about that? Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashed all over the papers lately with that stunt of hers. Buying out our competitor like that, I've never heard the likes of it before. She's flitting around her hive as she speaks, nipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow her hair dry before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tail her as best you can, feeling a bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip her at every turn. Maintaining a career as a successful yet relatively avant-garde artist is very different to assuming ownership of and managing a museum, yet she has made it work. Well, that sounds like Remoulade has been busy since the last time you saw her. You clarified that Remoulade is a friend of yours, actually. Tilsa stops in her tracks. Really? Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting the 411 on Remoulade from a friend of hers could really give me a frond up. What do you say? You're not sure there's much you can tell Stelsa about Remoulade? You're pretty sure Remoulade doesn't want an auditor in training or, well, anyone really knowing that she's an art thief. Yeah, she really is. Go, girl. But, why not? There has to be some stray info about Remily knocking around in the old noggin that might come in useful. Marvelous. Come on, you can tell me on the way. She takes your hand and pulls you out the door. You offer Stilsa a ride in your totally not stolen scuttle buggy. It's still raining, but she shields you both with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are as you walk to where it's parked. Yeah, oh my god. You get in, put some tunes on for the road, and head off. Once you're on the way, you admit to Stelsa that most of your and Remele's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off you for her webcomic, but you're still happy to answer any questions she might have about Remele's overall deal. You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up. What a privilege. To be completely truthful, I am quite the fan. I have been following her webcomic for a while. She admits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think that liking comics is embarrassing? Of course not. Okay, maybe a little. Seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comic on the internet when I have so much other business to attend to lots of irons in the fire. Over here, achievements don't achieve themselves, you know. Maybe, but hobbies and downtime are important, too. You never feel more rested than after you've let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic. What? She looks at you blankly. You know, rest? Oh, I always make sure I get enough recuperation every day. No concerns there, to be sure. What you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep, but you try a different tack. Why is she taking a job with Remily? Yeah, I don't know. Why is she taking this job with Remily anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training? Well, sure, I have that internship with the Alternian government as well, but there can never be enough experience under one's belt. So, you're beginning to see what the problem is. You have the feeling that Stilson might be a bit of a workaholic, just vaguely. Has she ever considered you're so involved in trying to convince Celsa of the merits of her getting chill on, of her getting of getting her chill on that you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Celsa lets out a screech that almost bursts your eardrums. Fiddlesticks, we can't go this way. There's road work happening here. The scuttle buggy must be operating with an outdated map. Switch it to manual and turn us around real quick. The road work Celsa is referring to is a bridge with a do not enter sign hastily put up. Yeah, fiddlesticks! It's glorious. Beyond the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes, somewhat big enough for the entire car to fall through easily. What are you waiting for? Hurry! Oh, there is one small problem. You can't drive. Fudge nuggets! She so badly wanted to say fuck. Stealth presses a few buttons, switching the controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly, your only goal to make sure that you don't drive onto the death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slope. Curving away from the road. You both yell as the scuttle buggy neums towards the downwards at a full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward. Oh, okay. There we go. Not sure what just happened there. If it wasn't for the unnerving, lung-like airbags that inflate in front of you, you would have shot out the window. Yeah, I don't think I'd realized that my mouse had been bumped onto another screen. And apparently it went right over one of the other scenes for the stream. Yeah, it happens. Surprised this is the first time it's happened. Anxiously, you ask if Stelsa is okay. She doesn't seem too concerned about whether she's injured or not. She's making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car. There's no way we will make my meeting on time now. And I looked an absolute mess. She's right. Her hair, which was all gentle, soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions, and her glasses have smashed in the collision. Why did I think this was a good idea? Oh. Is that our blood? I'm assuming it's our blood, since, you know, our blood's not that color. I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing. The car might have survived the crash, but Estelsa's cranky expression is anything to go by. Your budding friendship with her wasn't as lucky. So we got, yeah. Yeah, I have to agree. So then we've done all the endings for her, I think. I like her. I like them both, actually. But, like, I really like her. I think she's adorable. But to be fair, she also gives me a whole lot of Legally Blonde vibes. And I really like Legally Blonde. Alright, so the next one will be volume 14. I see that! How many clowns have we encountered overall? Is it just Chahut so far? Yeah. More clowns. Oh. Alright. I think that's where I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to try to go to bed early. Well, early-ish. Probably going to, like, lay down and fall asleep before I realize if I had to guess. I'm going to try to paint my nails, and I don't think that's going to go very well, but I'm going to try anyways. So,